Hello. If you are concerned about the GoGuardian or Lightspeed Filter services that have just recently been updated to run as background services on your home device, this is a great video to watch. Basically, what is a service? If you open up Task Manager here, this is a brand new Windows machine, so you'll see if you click more details, you can see every system, every application running. Not only that, you can see performance, app history, startup, details and services. A service is a background process that runs on your computer so that something can run easier or run better, and it doesn't need to run something small or start something small if it is pretty lightweight when it's actually running. Basically, what GoGuardian and Lightspeed have started to do is to run as a service. Services scare some people because it's running on the background of your device, and not too many people really know what it's actually doing or what it's actually capturing. Likely it's not that bad. Likely it's just a service for boot up, but it is through the school, and it is a few monitoring and moderation applications and Chrome extensions. So that's where people get uneasy about it. So we're going to go through and show how you can mitigate security risks for these services. You can actually see Microsoft Edge extensions that I have carried over from my Microsoft Edge account have been here, and it opens up on startup. The same thing will happen for Google Chrome. Let's install Google Chrome and see what happens. Okay. Let's sync accounts. Okay, now that we are signed into my ISD110 account, this is a notification that I've gotten from the Google browser, and it's saying, hey, this is an administrator regulated account, so this is not your account. Multiple things can happen. And if I say turn on sync, then all of my bookmarks, all of my extensions and everything, and even my search history will then be carried over to this browser. This includes extensions such as GoGuardian and Lightspeed Filter. These have recently had updates that have system startup features, and some people are a little uneasy that it runs when all of your Google Chrome windows are closed and all of your, when you're not signed into to a specific Google Chrome account. And of course, all the other extensions will pop up and say, hey, we're extensions. So now that this is running, how do you mitigate the reach that these extensions and services have? First of all, you can disable Chrome on startup. This disables most of the services that would come up. But if you go into details, and you see any Chrome extension, Chrome.exe, any Chrome executable file, this can be anything from the actual browser to the service to just a connection. These, if you are not using Chrome at all, you can close out all of these if you prefer to use Edge or Firefox or ungoogled Chromium, I can add a link to the GitHub repo for ungoogled Chromium in the description. So ungoogled Chromium, you do not have any connection to Google or Google extensions, which is good and bad. It's good because it's a lot more privacy oriented. It's open source. It doesn't support Google with your privacy getting attacked, but you don't get certain Google extensions. But if you are worried about these things, definitely a route that I would go down. But if you go into details or services, I would recommend not stopping a service directly. I know some services look menacing, but especially, let's go to details. Yeah, many of the services are run by SVC host or service host, which is critical for a Windows machine to run and to actually operate. So don't stop SVC host.exe or any services related to that. It could break something on your computer. Any service that when you go to details, it links back and hovers over chrome.exe. You can close that service out if you wish, but most of the time just go into details, ending task, straight from here. Great way to end it. Same thing with ending the task from the processes. Note that when you end it from processes, it does not actually end all of the services, and it does not disable Google on startup. So the three best things that you can do: first of all, don't use Chrome, don't use Google Chrome. You can still use Chromium and various other things. Don't use Google Chrome. You can close out of all services under the details tab. It's just easier. You can close out of all services that are running when you are not actively running Chrome, because I guarantee you, if I close out, I am not going to be running Chrome. Well, that's a lie. Close out of all processes related to Chrome and all services related to Chrome. You can hit end task. Most of the time when you close one process or one thing related to Chrome, it closes most of it out. But again, if you have a service still running chrome.exe and you are not actively using Chrome and you are worried about that service possibly spying or possibly collecting data that you do not want, you can close out of the service. Really, is it likely fine? Yes, likely it is just a service for when the school takes administration, or when the administration team at the school tries to take action. It just makes it easier for the browser to connect with its extensions or to utilize its extensions, or so that the browser can boot up easier for its extensions. So really, is it fine? In the grand scheme of things, yes. But if you are extra paranoid, this is one way that you can go in and have a bit more ease of mind. But the best thing that you can do, just don't use Google Chrome. If you can, try to use Firefox. Edge does a similar, I wouldn't trust Edge fully just because they have data collection on the Microsoft end. Mozilla Firefox does not have as much data collection in general, so I would recommend Firefox because it also is easier to use. But ungoogled Chromium is likely the best option for you. So I hope that this helped, especially with some of the more paranoid people. There have been rumors where it's some people make it sound more like a keylogger, and it can track things on different browsers. It could do that. We don't really know. I personally am not a GoGuardian or Lightspeed engineer or CEO or developer, so I don't know what these services actually do, but it is not that hard to just close out of them, have some more peace of mind, knowing that they are not actively running. And you can do it all through Task Manager. Just access Task Manager, right click the taskbar, Task Manager. Task Manager is a great thing to have even pinned to your taskbar if you are someone who likes to check on these things often. So, hope that this helped. Have a great rest of your day. I may or may not release more videos trying to be helpful like this. So, thank you for watching, and yes. Hello, this is made after I recorded the last video. One thing that I did forget to mention is even though you might disable it on startup, you would need to reboot the device before really every service is really closed. Make sure that you hit restart and not shutdown. Shutdown saves a few of the services running and tries to boot them again. So try to restart after you have disabled startup for Google Chrome. If you do this, then you should be good, but if there are still services running, just exit out of them. You should be able to exit out of them fairly easily. Other than that, you should be great.